Rock Salt Muzkast Experience with Aaron and Dave. And on the Zoom today, Andy and Frank from Saving Darkness,
South Carolina,
all the way from South Carolina.
Hey, you got a new EP that's going to come out, new project, and you've already released 2 of the songs. If you're listening to Spotify Premium, you've already heard one of them, Haunted. So how many songs are going to be on that EP?
I think it's 6 or 7, and that album's going to be titled Through the Fire.
Yep. Through the Fire.
Right.
Through the fire with a saber in hand.
Now,
just walking through the fire.
Andy, is this the first album you played on?
Yes, this is the first album I played on.
I see. So you got any bass solos on the album at all?
Not yet.
No,
but I'm not a big soloist, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's some. There's some in there. Don't let him fool you. There's some stuff in there.
Yeah. Are you? You're the bass player in the Haunted video, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I noticed this popped into my head while I was watching it. I was like, that bass player is making it look really easy. Like, I could do this in my sleep.
Well, I've been playing bass since I was about 11 years old, off and on, just constantly. Started with classical upright and then transitioned into the electric guitar bass. So.
Oh, wow. So you play an upright too?
I have. I don't know if I can read sheet music anymore, but.
Oh, okay. Thought maybe do a little lead rocker and jump on top of it and spin it around and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That is a goal, is to actually get an upright bass eventually and maybe do some more stuff for acoustic things. But
yeah, you know what, Frank, you might have to write a couple of rockabilly tunes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Are you the youngest member of the band, Andrew?
I think Ryan is now, or we've added another guitarist, and I think I've got him beat by a little bit on age. I'm 33 now, so I think I was the youngest until we added Ryan.
Oh, okay. So,
well, guess who's the oldest?
What's that?
I said, guess who's the oldest? 55 and in a band.
Got Papa Smurf on the mic, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's it.
Only in age, we're still mindsets of like kindergartners.
you know, the Southern bands seem to be the funnest to talk to. And no offense to the other bands that we've talked to, but you guys in the Southern bands, you just like to have a good time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems like you're really focused on having a good time with it. And of course we know it's the message and everything. I'm not discounting that, but so much so is like, let's just do that. Hey, that seems fun. Let's just do that. Where a lot of the other bands are like putting a lot of like, no, I think if we do this and then this, it'll go this way. I don't want to say putting too much thought into it, but sometimes I think you can overthink things, where sometimes the music, you just want to have fun with the music.
Yeah, well, and being honest about it, we had a couple of members that kind of rippled the waters on that kind of stuff like that, and that's a big part of why they're not with us anymore. And of course they were 2 hours away, and so that's why those couple of members, it was a drummer and a guitar player. You know, we just decided to part ways because they had to travel 2 hours every week to practice, and they were more, you know, in tune with, you know, just being correct and is it them here? Is it them here? Focused on me, myself, and I too much, and it just didn't work too good there.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that drummer and guitarist went on to be ZZ Top, Aaron.
Well, it wasn't a bass player, was
it? On your Instagram page, you have the verse John 1:5. What's that all about?
Andy does the Instagram page.
Okay.
Well, I haven't updated it since I've gotten activity for it, which is why I missed some of the messages, I think, from you, Aaron.
Okay.
And it's I've got my own Instagram and then the bands, and they keep clashing with each other all the time. So I've got to do some work on that to get that fixed. And I think it was the original bass player that made the Instagram page, and I've just recently started taking over it. So
yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to take care of it, and he moved off, got married, having a kid. He was the youngest. He's probably he still is the youngest of anybody we got. He's like 27 or something like that. And so he was young when he was with it. He joined when he was like 22 or 23. So he got married, and next thing you know how that stuff goes.
Oh yeah, you got to stay away from those 20 somethings, man. They're flighty.
Unstable.
I was
a lifestyle change at the drop of a dime.
I noticed as I just passed the 50 mark. I'm more willing to just settle down, stay at home, watch TV. My flighty days of my 20s are over.
Yeah, that's long gone for me too.
I'm 33 and I'd still rather just stay at home and not do anything.
So you fit right in with Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm battling arthritis. Cutting cartwheels and all that kind of stuff. I told him one time at the upper room, I said, listen, guys, my back's hurt. So I'm not going to be jumping around the stage. I'm not going to be jumping off. So just let you know, I'm kind of stable here. I'll be a statue.
Hey, Frank, you should give credit to arthritis on the next album.
Yeah.
Just put it in the thank yous or something like that.
Hey, Mr. Arthur, that guy, Mr. Ritis.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man. So what do you guys got planned for you? How long have you been around? We'll start there.
Saving Darkness, I think it was December of 13 is when we actually put our page out there, said our name. And like I said, we've transitioned into this period here. I think we've got a great group now. And that mission is to play more and to reach further. We've got one guy out in, what is that, out there next to Louisiana. He's been wanting us to come out there and do a show.
Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas, that's it. And it's just, we just don't have the capabilities to get there reasonably with 5 people, 5 jobs and make it happen. So that's what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to have equipment, a trailer, a van, whatever we need to be able to reach those outer places that people's asking us to come.
Well, God works in his own speed and time.
Absolutely.
Right. And, you might be right where he needs you to be right now.
Well, and that's, I'll be honest with you, I was on top of a big resort in North Carolina, and I was telling the drummer of another group, I said, man, we was looking for a singer. And, the guy just said something that just kind of stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, okay. And he said, why don't you just work with what God give you right now? And that's how I started singing. Because I was a rhythm guitar player and backup vocalist. And so we done an acoustic set, and they said, would you do it? I said, let's practice it and go do it. And we brought another drummer in, hit then, and we hadn't stopped yet.
Yeah. See, all the ingredients have to be just right, Aaron. I mean, really, am I right? Yeah. Am I right, guys?
Oh, yeah. If you got one person in a band that's not on that same page and that same outlook and that same want, it won't work. Not in this. It might work in other genres, but it won't work in this.
Yeah,
it'll surface. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but it will.
We were doing an interview with another band, and they had parted ways with another member, and the guy goes, I got a lot of good friends, but not, there'd be some good friends that I don't want to be in a band with, and right. It's a team, and everybody has to be on the same page.
We look at it as like a family. I mean, we call it our band family, because when we practice every Sunday between church, and we come in there and listen, if you're having trouble, if you've had a bad week and we spend an hour talking, well, that's what we're going to do, because we're there to minister each other to start with. Because if we can't minister to ourselves, how in the world are we going to minister out here outside the walls? So that's kind of the way we look at it. We, if you're struggling, like I said, we want to talk for 30 minutes, an hour. If you're having some trouble at home, wife, job, whatever it is, we're going to pray for each other. We're going to support each other. And that's special.
That's a good way to be. It really is.
That's special. I mean, a lot of people don't have that at home.
Exactly.
It's outside the home.
Exactly.
I think it's great that you guys go into clubs and play.
Well, you know what? Listen. If you don't, who is?
That's true. I think some bands, I I've never seen them, they'll advertise their tour and they're playing a bunch of churches where, like we've said, we've seen Red, and they constantly play in bars and clubs, and they're just into it. Just, hey, we're going to give our message, and they're not going to overly preach, but their words are going to say something.
Exactly.
And I wish every, band would pursue going into clubs and playing, even with secular bands. The first time I saw Striper, they were with TNT and Loudness.
Yeah.
And I was like, who are they? And we didn't have, back then it wasn't Spotify or anything like that. So I didn't know who they were, but I thought it was great that there were people there to see Loudness and TNT, and through Striper, they heard salvation through. And again, it could have not changed their lives that day. But as you said earlier in our conversation, maybe they went home and were just laying in bed by themselves and started listening to one of those songs.
The seed was planted, Aaron.
Yeah,
and that's
great.
what I was going to fix to say. I was going to fix to say, you may not get to ever see any harvest, and we have to accept that, because all we're to do is to plant that seed. Now, if somebody's there ready and be able to lead somebody to salvation, that's something that I've stressed in our band. If all our members are not there, then that needs to be collectively something that we're searching to do, equip each other to be able to lead somebody to salvation, or if not, lead them over to the person that can. And then that's actually a learning part for them as well, because not everybody can just pray out loud. I'll go ahead and say that. I mean, some people's not comfortable with it. I wasn't, but the more I got called on, the more I got comfortable with it. And it's just like I tell my kids, you tell me your problems, so why can we not tell our Father in heaven our problems? Same deal. Just act like you're talking to your Father, because you are.
Yeah.
So that's the way we look at it.
So I want to get to the style of the music, because as we mentioned before, there's a lot of different styles mixed into a song from Saving Darkness. Now, I'm going to assume that you grew up with a lot of the classic rock, Frank. A lot of the Molly Hatchets and the I'm trying to think of Southern bands. Of course, Leonard Skinner being one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Because that, and the reason I'm saying that is not because you're from Carolinas, but because it comes through in the music.
Well, some of my biggest influences, Creed has been one of mine for years. I mean,
okay.
Breaking Benjamin, Godsmack, those types of guys, that I have gotten to that point where I used to wasn't on that harder stuff that I'm listening to now in certain situations. But it's kind of a growth. I'll tell you what, I changed when I went to see Disciple. I went and seen them at a show, and I thought, well, you can give the message, and it's kind of an eye opener at that time. And that was a little period where we started transitioning to getting a little harder and
nice.
a little more metalish. So that's just being influenced by other people that are trying to do the same thing I'm doing. So that kind of changed my mindset, that I was more on the right down the middle of the groove music that the majority of people listen to. 80s pop, 80s rock, 90s. Those are the ones that's big influence for me, because I got married in 85. So, out of a teenager to married in the 80s, so
yeah.
That was kind of a wild time. So, those types of things. What is it? Steven Tyler, who
Aerosmith.
That type of stuff was what we listened to mostly.
Right.
And we had some older siblings, me and my wife, so we got to hear some of the older stuff
right.
from the 70s, early 70s and mid 70s. Yeah.
That's how it was.
I played trumpet for a few years in the band for 3 years, and I played tuba for a year, but
hey, there's not enough tuba in rock and roll, man. Bring that tuba in.
Hey, I will tell you a story. I was 100 pounds in high school, and I marched in a Christmas parade with a sousaphone and never played one note. And the reason, because the wind was blowing, and it was all I could do to stand up with that sousaphone. I never played a note marched in the whole parade. So that was crazy.
Hey, so Andy, how about you? I mean, what are some of your influences? When you're cruising around town and you got, when you're not listening to Saving Darkness on Spotify, what are you listening to?
I'm a little bit all over the place, in all honesty, but I mean, the biggest ones for me are stuff like Mudvayne, really like the bass player from them. He's
Right.
an idol of mine. But same thing, like Godsmack, Red Chevelle, 1,000 Foot Crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Aaron. He's in his 30s. He likes all that aftershock stuff we're going to see.
Yeah, Mudvayne's gonna play there, so
Yeah.
may check them out.
See, are you envious now, Andy?
A little bit, a lot of it actually.
Oh man, you got to come out to NorCal and come see Aftershock, man.
Well, they have
That's one of the last states I got to visit is actually California. I've only got 7 left out of the 50 continental. So
Well, you won't want to come back once you visited, but you can scratch it off your bucket list.
yeah. Well, you have Epic Center down in that way.
Yeah, the epicenter is
in North Carolina.
Charlotte.
Yeah, that's a big festival out there.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one? No, that's right. Check it out. Epicenter. It's a huge festival, and if you like all those bands, you'll definitely want to check that out. And they do them every year.
What was that big festival they used to have up in Charlotte? What was it called? Is that what he's talking about?
Carolina Rebellion.
Rockville or
Carolina
Rebellion.
Rebellion.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rebellion, and then they changed it. They changed the venue, and then they changed the name.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
same thing.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
one that moved up into Virginia now, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know where it is.
We're in California. We have one festival.
Yeah.
You know, all the southern states. You know, Oklahoma, Texas. They got like.
Well,
it's festival every weekend.
they don't
almost.
have the mandates that we have out here, Aaron.
That's true.
So,
They don't have Nancy Pelosi either.
yeah. You know, that's a conversation for another time.
Absolutely.
I've been thinking about starting another show just so I can rant.
I just thought I'd throw that one in there. You know, since we're talking
Yeah.
California.
I'm
Well,
not jumping off that ledge.
Yeah, you know, I do rant every once in a while. I try to keep our show out of politics because I just want to focus on music, but it creeps in every once in a while. But man, Frank, don't get me started, brother.
Yeah, I know, right? Me either.
It's like pulling the ripcord on the lawnmower, because once I'm rolling, man,
I know.
I'm rolling.
Chop, chop, chop.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what do we got coming up? Because we got some more Saving Darkness, right?
Yes, we do.
What do we got coming up, Aaron?
Words 2.
Words
Oh.
2.
Words 2.
This one's a good one.
He's like, I like that one. That's a good pick, Aaron.
You're supposed to like all of them. You're supposed to like all of them.
I have
What's that?
certain favorites.
Certain favorites. That's
do,
great.
do you get a little excited when you see the set list for the night and you're like, yeah, that one's on there. I like that one.
Yeah. Now we have little squabbles over that. Which one are we gonna drop? I don't want to drop that one. No, let's drop that. You know.
Do you have those
disagreement before?
do you have those green room conversations like you see in Almost Famous when the band's about ready to fight each other?
Not that far yet.
Not that
Might
far.
happen.
Yeah.
Well, getting set up and getting that drummer in there in time, you know, sometimes we may throw him out every now and then.
Get a cattle prod and start poking him.
Yeah, he's the one I told him it takes him an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes.
Oh man,
I'm saving that one, Aaron. I'm using that one at work.
yeah. I would probably go, I was in prayer this morning and God said we need to play these songs.
This is the set list God handed down.
That's right.
Like, are you gonna argue with him?
Like the 10 Commandments to Moses. Here you are. Here's the set list for the night. Don't set it on fire.
Yeah.
He got it.
Yeah.
All
man.
right, guys.
This is fun.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate talking to you. And certainly I hope you guys come on again when you do release the EP. We'll talk some more about all the new stuff.
Yeah. You talked about the albums changing. I just think I'll mention this in Wolves, and I'm sure if you listen to the song Wolves and you see the cover of the album, it's a preacher pulling a wolves off.
Yeah.
I mean, been being honest about it, there was a time there when we wrote that album, there was a lot of struggles with the local church.
Was there really?
Well, putting stuff out there that the book doesn't support,
Right.
And so if we give this image that the churches can't even get the one book right, that makes us look bad.
Yeah,
so
there's
you have it right,
yeah, there's no unity.
and so people don't see it as real, and that's
Yeah.
the trouble. We can't get the book right. We can't all agree on what the book says. I mean, so, and I've had it with my church, and I've been there, I think, 12 years, but I still go and worship there together. But we have some different views, and you'll listen to them in that. If you listen to Wolves later on, pay attention to the words. You'll see it coming out in that song.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and listen to it because, like I said, I listened to everything, but I didn't pay attention to the lyrics as much as Wolves. I couldn't tell you what the song's about. So
it'll be plain when you listen back.
Yeah. Now I'm really gonna pay attention.
On that second verse. Second verse punches all the preachers right in the mouth.
Now that opening on
what's
this? Is that you?
It is
the opening. That is.
It is.
You, like,
I went to 3 years of Bible Institute. That's what my degree's in.
That's the one where it's got the preacher at the beginning of the song.
So that's
See,
you.
I did listen to it, Frank.
Okay. Yeah, that's me.
and the album Live It. I don't know if it was a theme album or not, but that definitely every song is really pointed. Like, hey, this is what Christian walk is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
I wrote those lyrics from Charleston, South Carolina to Columbia.
Okay.
On my job, just riding, and that message coming, I kept hitting talk to text on my phone, and that song laid out in a couple hours. And Asking Mercy did too. Asking Mercy was pretty quick. Actually, I wrote that song in the middle of a fight with my wife.
Hey, hang on, honey. I got a lyric. Hang on.
Well,
No, don't throw that.
Well, it's kind of like this, after you do something, you get in a squabble with her and you look and you say, I've done it again. And that's why the song's called Asking Mercy. I'm asking for your mercy again. How many times does people ask God to forgive them and ask for mercy?
I think it would rival how many times you ask your wife to forgive you.
Yeah. I'm working on 36 years, so I got a good bit of experience there.
He's got a mercy tip jar.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I'm gonna pay later.
Yeah. How can people find you on social media?
Facebook, Instagram. We should be on every music platform out there. We've got a website, www.savingdarkness.com, and you can find out there. But the best way to follow us is on Facebook.
Go to Facebook, Saving Darkness.
All shows or be there. All the information. If you want us to do something, the best way to do it is shoot us a message through Facebook, and you'll get the quickest response.
Like and follow. It all matters.
It does.
We're on YouTube. Check us out there.
Yeah, YouTube channel.
Pandora.
Yeah, and follow them because that new album is going to drop when the next couple months.
There again, it depends on shows. We got plans for shows in November, but shows pop up all the time. We have some promoters that'll be in a bind, and they'll say, "Hey, can you fill a spot for me?" And we filled one last time in 2 days, and said, "Yeah,
nice.
We can." And so, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. In that industry, that's what you have to do.
And I mean this in the best way. I have a feeling that this last Trumpet, Saving Darkness, and Faith Head show is going to be kind of rowdy.
It might be some face melting going on.
There you go.
You might have to scrape your face up before you leave.
I do know one thing: you're going to hear the message of God that night because all those bands want to, their mission is to see God glorified. So that's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, I'm a little envious. Yeah. I would like to go see that show. Honestly.
Now, is the upper room a church?
It's actually a college Christian coffee house.
Oh,
it's got 2 levels in it. They got some pool tables, some ping pong tables, and a little vending place. And there's 2 levels. You got downstairs basement with a stage, but upstairs is where you want to play. It's out on the main street of Statesville.
Oh, nice.
Excuse me.
Nice.
So it's a nice little setting in there because kids, everything. And so you can listen to music while you go over here and shoot pool or play ping pong or get you something to eat and sit down in a booth. It's pretty good setting. And you're right. Like I said, you step out the front doors and you're on Main Street of Statesville, North Carolina.
Sounds like a fun place.
It is. It is.
It really does.
Yeah.
I'm too old to be hanging out at the college hangouts though, but it sounds like a really fun place.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, whose dad's here?
Hey, I was kind of kidding about age with Mike, and I said, I'm gonna make me a walker that's got a guitar hanging on the front of it and a mic stand. I'm gonna move around the stage with my guitar and mic stand.
Yeah. Well, hey, Mick and Keith said even though Charlie just died, they're still going on tour. So
hey, you still gotta go. I mean,
if anybody needs a walker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I love the Stones. I've seen them twice. They're great. So I've seen them in their younger days.
Yeah, we're seeing a bunch of senior citizens in a couple weeks. Kiss.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Kiss.
Oh, I seen Kiss probably on their farewell tour over in Greenville, South Carolina.
Which farewell tour?
Yeah, right.
Like
I would say it's like 5 or 6, 7 years ago. It seems like.
Well, Gene Simmons really likes this stuff called money, and so he figures capitalize on the makeup while you can.
It was kind of funny because when that concert was over, Paul Stanley and the town was Greenville, and he stood up and said, "We thank you, Greenfield." Wrong town. You didn't know what town he was in.
I've been at shows where that's happened. And the one that's popping into my head is we went and saw Kansas open up for Styx. And this was 20 something years ago. But I was living in Reno, and the lead singer of Kansas came out and thanked Las Vegas for coming out to the show, and he just got this big round of booze.
Yeah,
that's why you always say the state. That's why we're here in California, because and you get a good roadie that will, hey, what state we in? Before you go on. Right before you go on. What state we in?
I get it. I've traveled across several states to the point where I go, well, I don't even know what state I'm in anymore. It's just, you're just going to keep going. So I get it. If you're on tour in a band, you don't know where you are from day to day.
Especially on the East Coast, because you can go through 5 states in 8 hours.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of like our last show with Seventh Day Slumber. I mean, they pull up in their big bus and their big, of course, we help them unload and set up. But, I think, 5 nights in a row and they're in a different state. I'm like, I bet that does get kind of, just passes you by and you don't really realize where all you've been. You just know your show. But they were great. Another band, Relent, was with them from San Antonio, and 3 young girls, Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. I don't know if you ever heard of them, Aaron. But
I love GFM.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they what, 15, 17, and 18?
Yeah,
something like that.
That was the same show we played with them just a week ago.
Oh, wow.
So that's down in Union, South Carolina.
I got to get out of California, Aaron. I say it every week. I got to get out of California.
I think we're doing another show with Seventh Day Slumber in November down in Columbia, South Carolina.
All the good stuff's happening on the East Coast. And down south. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Me and wife are going to go visit the East Coast in 2023, and I'm hoping to put some shows together on that trip. So
okay.
Honey, why are we here? Oh. And then I'll be what would Mercy asking for mercy after the show?
Yeah, I see
it. Hey, honey, why is Dave on our anniversary trip?
Yeah. So, hey, thanks guys for coming on the show today.
Yeah, no problem at all. We appreciate what y'all doing. We appreciate any publicity we get, any chance we get to get our name out there, and somebody may go on our Facebook page and hear just what they need.
Yep, like and follow because it's important. Saving Darkness, Facebook, Spotify, Pandora, just about everywhere.
Website,
Yep. Don't forget the website, savingdarkness.com.
Yeah, there's a reason we pay for that thing. We want to know that money's being used for something.
Well, I looked at it today, so got that going for you.
Yep.
I appreciate you guys coming on.
All right.
And you, Andy, get back to work. You milked that clock long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed work
All
so
right.
I could do this. So hey.
Yeah. Hey, Andy, will you step into my office, please? We need to have a little talk.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming on the show. It's Saving Darkness on the Rock Salt Muzkast Experience.